Unbelievable.
And the fire
Waxahachie evacuating.
The students inside the hallways and had them stand along the hallway as the fire burned. Then the decision was made to bus them to this ninth grade academy here. Now the superintendent
My son
told me a
goes
couple
to
of minutes
school
ago
right
that
across
every
that
other
highway,
school in
and there's the
Waxahachie
fire.
is
Look at
open
that.
at this hour. The exception, of course, Wedgewood Elementary. The ninth grade academy is still open, and the superintendent says the plan right now is for every school to be open tomorrow morning. That includes Wedgewood, but it does encourage parents to check out with the website for later details. It all depends on what happens with this.
He's at the high school.
Hey, Jonathan, what do parents need to know for the parents of those Wedgewood students who were bused over to the ninth grade academy? What kind of protocols do they need to follow to pick up their kids?
Right now, the parents are just being told to come to the ninth grade academy where the Wedgewood students are. They're being told to line up along the street here, and the parents are being matched up with their children through the district and through teachers and volunteers here putting together. Most of the students from Wedgewood have been picked up at this hour. So right now the concern is just what happens tomorrow and what happens with this massive fire.
As we talk about the air quality, Jonathan, I'm curious, how does it smell out there from your vantage point?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is quite something to look at from the east side of this fire in Waxahachie here. The fire actually, the smoke plume has gotten substantial.
They're only like 2 miles from it.
This afternoon, it was so enormous and so big that it honestly made part of the skies in Waxahachie dark. That's how big it was. You could see it from downtown Dallas, even as far north as Plano. As I was coming in, we could see the remnants of this massive explosion. And so the health concern is certainly a big question a lot of parents have here today. They're not getting any clear answers in terms of how dangerous is the smoke, what exactly is burning. We have seen a couple of students who suffer from asthma wearing surgical masks. That is just a precaution that the parents put on their children because they're still unclear if the air is safe to breathe.
Hey, we want to talk to the Environmental Protection Agency right
let's
now.
listen to
We have Dave Perry on the line. Dave, can you hear us? Dave
hear you, yes.
Berry. I apologize, Dave Berry. Dave, let's talk about what's happened here at Magna Blend today, your concerns.
When the agency was notified of the fire late this morning, we conferred with officials from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. And a decision was made to support local responders.
You shouldn't be outside mowing in this.
On-scene coordinator, along with contractors and air monitoring equipment. In that effort, the equipment and the technical team arrived just a little over an hour ago and are in the process of setting up their equipment. And we expect to have preliminary data at some point later this afternoon.
He can't breathe. He's outside mowing the grass with
information
chemicals.
that we can share. We'll share that with officials from the local fire department and others to assist in their decision-making efforts.
And Dave, obviously we don't want to speculate on the data as you are waiting for that preliminary data, but in general, when you cover and you go out to take air samples as a result of a chemical explosion like this, what do you typically expect to find as far as the air quality is concerned?
The wind shifting again. Look at the smoke.
The type of chemical.
Now it's going back towards the high school.
In some instances, we have found that the air is perfectly safe with no adverse public health.
Something else exploded, I think.
In other instances, we found that evacuations were indeed prudent given the contaminants in the air. But I need to reemphasize that it's premature to speculate as to the air quality as a result of this fire. We'll know more once we have information that we can share with local responders.
Look at that, 50 miles away.
From the information I was given at the beginning, we had a reaction. I'm not sure which chemicals yet, but I don't know if we had an explosion, but we had a reaction and a fast-moving fire, and the building was sprinkled. We do believe that the fire overran the sprinkler system, and before we could get hooked up to it, it had already spread throughout the whole back of the building. At that point, we had fire with the wind pushing it towards the north, and we moved those people from the front of the building. About an hour and a half to 2 hours into the fire, we thought we were making real good progress on it and going to cut it off. And then what happened was we had another release and we had liquid pouring out of the building on fire. We did lose one mutual aid ladder truck platform from Ennis that they could not move out of the way fast enough. Our main concern at that time was the tank cars that you see back there. We had fires under most all of the tank cars. We had to maneuver, we had to move everybody out of the back. We evacuated all the neighborhoods, the schools around here. Police department did an excellent job of coordinating that and doing that for us. And at that point, we were able to maneuver lines around to start protecting
That's live. It's still burning a lot.
Tank cars. We had burning fuel coming out all the way to the far end building over here, where you can see that last building of Navarro College. It was burning all the way to there. We called in the city to bring in sand trucks and backhoes, and the Dallas Hazmat team was here helping us monitor that. And
look at all that liquid
over there. Can I answer any questions?
Any indication of when?
Let me go in order.
Any indication of when this fire will get this fire out?
We believe the fire right now is about 80% contained. We've just got a small area right there where you see the flames coming up that we're not able to get lines in there because we weren't able to get apparatus over there.
So I guess these silos over here don't have liquid in them.
We'll be letting the people back in the neighborhoods before 5 o'clock.
So you're not worried about any more possible explosions?
Not at this time, no, sir.
Well, everybody answered that question.
We really had probably only about a 10-mile-an-hour wind, somewhere in there, and it was pushing it towards the freeway, so we were in pretty good shape.
Do you know what that using flammable liquid was?
No, sir, we do not. There's all types of chemicals in here, and
what's the primary output of this plant? Is it agriculture? Is it oil?
Well, no, sir, it's not oil. To be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly what they were manufacturing today. Different times they do that. You had a question, sir.
What's the status of the firefighters on the Ennis truck?
No one was injured. No injuries. Everybody was evacuated from that area. We didn't feel like it was safe at that point to drive the truck off because the fire was under it, and so we pulled them out.
What?
Yes.
And how many evacuees are there?
I'm going to guess somewhere around 1,000.
Chief, what's the concern about air quality?
1,000 people have been evacuated from their homes and
Right
businesses.
now, I'm going to leave that to some of the other folks that'll be up.
But they leave our kids a mile away at the high school and school.
No, these are water cannons, for lack of a better word. They're master streams. You see them a lot of times at fires, like deck guns that shoot off the trucks. The ones that we have, you can dismantle them and take them down and use them on the ground also. And you put them in and you put large lines in them, so they're flowing anywhere from 300 to 600 gallons a minute of water, and hopefully that gives you a break in there. And at one point it did do that. This building at one time was owned by Chevron, and they made plastic pipe here. This company, when they bought it, they started doing different types of chemicals, and they've added on to the building. So the building was cut up. It's not like it was just one big open area. So that hampered with the efforts that we were trying to do with the water. But the fire was moving so fast, like I said earlier, it was already burning through the back wall when we arrived, that I didn't feel safe putting anybody in the building.
And flammable liquid spread underneath your apparatus. Fortunately, that release was very slow and not spontaneous.
Oh, look at it. Look at it get that truck.
4 firefighters
Oh, my
to
gosh.
Waxahachie this morning, and fortunately, 4 firefighters are on their way home. That's the important thing.
Okay, so talk to us again then. You're confirming now for us that it was that.
Look how fast it got that truck because of the liquid going underneath it.
That is correct. That is
Because-
the city's only aerial apparatus that was lost this morning.
What's next now? What happens now that you've lost this aerial apparatus?
Well, we're in the process of filing an insurance claim, just like you would if you had damage to your own personal automobile. Unfortunately, these aerial apparatus, when they're ordered, take a long time to be constructed, generally from 6 months to a year, and they're very expensive. To replace this apparatus will cost between $1.5 and $2 million.
Oh, my God, for one truck?
A lot of time before you get another one, Steve. So in the meantime, what happens if another big fire happens?
Well, we'll depend on mutual aid from Waxahachie if that happens, as well as Corsicana and the other surrounding cities.
Look at
And
that.
we're dependent on our friends and neighbors here in Ellis County to support each other in these large fires, and that's what we're here for.
Steve, have you had a chance to talk to those firefighters who had to run away from that fire truck?
I have not. They're en route back to Ennis now, and we should be talking to them in a few minutes.
From what you've heard, they made it out safely, no injuries?
Oh, they did, yes. In fact, your station captured them on video, and you can see the entire situation unfold.
Well, Steve, I got to tell you, we were bringing you live coverage.
I can't believe
of
there's
that,
still so much fire.
Didn't seem to be moving quite quickly enough for our taste.
I think they
Until
were trying to
something
move
else
in a way
explodes.
that wouldn't fall down and they could get away safely. That's the important thing.
Were you surprised with what you saw?
I was. The size of the fire and the calmness of the firefighters, I think you
Look
saw
at that, Jaime.
that they didn't panic. They were aware of their situation, and they acted appropriately.
Steve Howerton, Ennis City Manager, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to speak with us and confirming for us it was your aerial apparatus that burned to the ground as we all watched.
It's because those are all chemicals, Jaime.
There's that video again. We saw all
That's just chemicals running out and
oozing around that fire.
look at them.
Firefighters getting away. We saw one firefighter. There you see him returning to see, can I get this fire truck out of the way? He goes toward it and then moves back and gets out of the way, and that's when we saw fire take over that truck.
I don't see him get out of the way.
Quite a sight this afternoon.
Did you?
Thanks, Steve. We'll touch back with you shortly.
Thank you.
And again, for those of you just joining us now, we are expecting a news
Oh,
conference
wow,
at
that's
any moment
just,
to get
yeah, he came around that way.
what may have caused this fire that sent
If he'd have gotten that truck, he'd have never made it out.
Flames burned it to the ground.
Well, it's the next day after the fire, and I'm driving past. I just dropped the kids off to school, and you can see next day it's still smoking. I don't know if you can see the smoke or not. Look at that. It is a freaking mess. Look at that disaster. Wow. Ooh, and I can smell it. What a mess. That's the day after. Still got firemen out there. Oh, and it stinks. Ooh, good thing you can't smell through the YouTube. Bye.